I think Luka is the best player in the series, period. They have no answers for him. And the Mavs have 2 to 3 guys, or have Tim Hardaway Jr., a third guy that can get you buckets if need be. Whereas the Clippers don't have that third guy. They don't longer have a Lou Williams. Reggie Jackson is not that guy. No. And they don't have that tenacity that they had off the bench in Trez to kind of knock somebody in the mouth if they need to. And I think with the lack of toughness, like Kawhi had 3 points in the fourth quarter, only 10 points in the second half. As much as we love to say Kawhi is this great two-way player, Kawhi is not that guy. Shout out to you again, Paul.
Maybe he was in Toronto, but
it's a whole different even in Toronto,
he was a cog in a machine.
He's a tip shot from not beating Philly that year. He's an injury from not beating the Warriors. So the Clippers fall right into the path that I think we've seen the Miami Heat fall into. You get 2 different signings. Lou Williams decides to go to Atlanta. Trez decides to go to the Lakers. And now look, you're not the same team you were last year. Your window is closing. If you get upset in 4 or 5 right now, that team is going to be changed. Either the coach is gone or players are going to be moved. It's one or the other. That team
I didn't like the Lou Williams trade. I thought that guy, he was a Clipper. I didn't like the idea of him going to Atlanta. I thought we talked about that. I think at the deadline, Greg, Steph, when we said about it's unfair that the players got traded away from their guys because that was a tough deal, and I think that changed the culture and that whole dynamic and on the other side of the Staples Center.
And I keep seeing this meme floating around that Luke Kennard is making $64 million and he's played 0 minutes in the playoffs. And I always want guys to go get their money. Yeah. But why pay him that money if you're not going to utilize him when it matters?
Now, I don't mean to get my Kwame Brown on, but I got my hookah right here too. And I'm going to tell y'all right now. This is what Kwame, I don't mean to switch the subject, but this is Kwame was talking about. We watching SportsCenter, we watching all these different shows, and even though he was the number 1 pick, Luke Kennard is not being talked about. No. He got $65 million. He's not being talked about. But had it been a different athlete, who are we talking about? We're talking about Bobby Bonilla. We're talking about Paul George. We're talking about, Randall. Julius Randle, when he struggled in the first game, if he would have lost that second game, they would have been killing Randall.
Yes,
absolutely. Pick and choose and he's not a number 1. So we pick and choose who we talk about. But that is crazy. $65 million, your team is struggling. You can't help them whatsoever. That looks crazy.
Because what it's telling me is the fact that he hasn't even seen the floor tells me that they don't even think he's a viable option.
It's the question of why they signed him in the front office in the first place.
I mean, it's the get along. What do you call it, Kwame? The go along, get along game, man. Go along, get along game. Big shout out to Mama's Cooking, man.
Facts, Mama's Cooking. I need me one of those hoodies.
Yeah, man. Big shout out.
Yeah, and Carl, I know you were too soft, SAWFT, to call us out by name in your monologue. But yeah, your Celtics is done, bro. Pack it up. Pack all of them up.
Oh yeah, I hate to say it, Greg. I was going into Yankee Stadium. And I saw some guy in a Harden jersey. It was like, one of the Brooklyn City jerseys. Looked nice. I looked at him. I said, dude, Nets in 2.5. He was looking at me so dying. I had to say it.
Listen, what we're watching right now, is we're seeing that middle of the group in the Eastern Conference kind of change right before our eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're seeing Boston. We're seeing, even though it's 1 year, we're seeing Miami. We've seen Toronto disappear. And we're seeing the Hawks make a move. We're seeing the Knicks make a move. We're seeing, even though Washington, they make that run at the end, I don't think they're going to be in this series either. But we've seen Washington make a move more to the top. So, we're starting to see teams that are going to have to blow itself up if they don't figure it out. We got the Nets. I mean, not the Nets. We got the Celtics. We got the Heat got to figure it out. And we got the Clippers. Those are examples of 3 franchises that had a window that they got to figure out now that if we're going to stick with this or we got to change it.
Celtics went to the what was it, the semis like 3 times in the past like 5 or 6 years. So I mean the fact that they couldn't even get to the I know, no, you're right.
Did nothing to move the needle, not doing nothing in the season.
Right.
No, you could say it, bro.
I mean they let Kyrie go.
You just don't have jabs at Carl now. That's all you're doing, bro.
To give Carl some credit, I think he was completely right when he said that the Celtics have no heart right now. And I think Jaylen Brown might have been the glue that kept them together because they are really missing him badly.